Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Good day, you guys.
Yes, and just a quick heads up, everybody that's in the middle part of the country, southern middle. You might have some intense storms rolling through. Texas again is looking to get some. Arkansas looks like you're the center of the bullseye, as it does look a little ominous out there, and a couple sprinkles are getting ready to come down.
Yes, get prepared. Roll up your windows in your truck. Make sure there's nothing outside that can get wet.
Or it could get tossed in the wind as well. So, we have to always be girding ourselves in these times, and we have to be prepared. These are times for being prepared for anything that could come your way. Before we get going, let's just, if you guys feel so inclined, please do subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, double check, make sure you are subscribed. I know so many of you are always getting unsubscribed as they've been rolling Evolutionary backwards, even though the viewership increases. As we know, you can't trust. You just can't trust in this world honest answers. You really can't. And also EEARTS. And, so that, gosh, I'm going to switch gears. And let's do the first video. Because I was talking about we can't trust answers. When we see this, researchers, nearly half of accounts tweeting about, the plague upon the land are likely bots. This is just coming out. Half. And it's been so recognizable to me. Some of them are even called bots, like Ladybot or Conbot, or, all these stupid, silly things in this world that are all about getting our mind to think a certain way. There is this, it's like a chain of bots that come out when we mention things like crypto. And you'll see there's a whole conversation that pops up with 12, 15 different, responses to it from like 4 or 5 different bots, because they are bots. And it like goes down to something saying, eventually, you know how much money you can make in crypto? Wow, really? What did you do? Well, I invested in this. Well, I invested in that. Do you know Dr. Henry James? No. Who is Dr. Henry James? Well, he's the one that led me to my discovery, and I've quadrupled my money. It's like, and the whole conversation is nothing but crap. It's bull, and it's fake, and it pops up in like 5 seconds. This one tweet, and then like a dozen after tweets, and it's all about getting you to go look at Dr. Henry James and what he has to say about crypto, buy his new book, invest in whatever he's investing in. This is the world we live in. Here you see, and Sita's really angry about that. You hear her in the background. The monkeys are awake this morning. Nearly half of the Twitter accounts spreading messages on the social media platform about the plague upon the land are likely bots, researchers at Carnegie Mellon University said Wednesday. And then you have to ask yourself too, Carnegie Endowment, Carnegie Mellon family is one of those big families as well. I actually have known some of them personally. And if they're telling you this is the case, then number one, we do know that there's a huge presence out there of bots. And these are automated accounts that are simply spamming. They're spamming. They're trying to get us to think along a certain line. They want you to think that the majority of people out there believe what they are saying, even when the majority might not believe. But it gives you reassurances to go ahead and do something. Just do it. Hey, look, there's 13 people right there that said they all did it. Well, I might as well go jump off a bridge too.
Right. And you know what that does with human nature? It's that herd instinct that we feel that we are stronger in numbers. So they're using that against us, and they're very good at that, and understanding our psyche and using our psyche against us to kind of operate things in the way that they so choose. And that's why, gosh, we got to find out who we are, find our sovereignty, and break away from these energies. But we can't really do that unless we know what are these energies. They're very manipulative.
Listen to your feelings. What does your gut say? This is what we have to develop. We are getting blasted with cosmic rays and intense energy from the sun. We talked about that KP index being a 7 yesterday, and it's changing us. Our intuition's getting better. There's a message which I think we can share that one that came through last night from the guides, and it's exciting. It's exciting. We have to get to the end of this crazy, twisted roller coaster ride. But when we do get to the end of the roller coaster ride, reality is not going to be the same. Everything that you have been brought up with, you're going to see right through it. Many of you are seeing right through it now. You're starting to recognize it's all been a bunch of lies. It's been complete pile of manure. And so, we're recognizing that. Researchers culled through more than 200 million tweets discussing the virus since January and found 45% of them were sent by accounts that behave more like computerized robots than humans. We've told you that AI is really ultimately what is at the pinnacle. AI is at the highest point in this dark pyramid. Let's just put it that way. So if you're wondering what's at that capstone, it ain't human. It's not human. It's not even organic. And yet that is ultimately what we're already battling. Here we think we're going into a world that's just going to start to have AI. No. AI has been out there for millions and millions and perhaps billions of years. It's just our exposure to it. That's the thing that's changing in our realization. Here we've been thinking we're in a stone age, so to speak, in relation to the technology that's really out there. We might think we're in modern times, and hey, why haven't we done the things the Jetsons did? But in reality, we're in the stone age conceptually compared to what is out there technologically. The technology that's out there right now, which you'll see, it's going to come out and in dribs and drabs, and it's going to blow people's minds away. Here again, when you go farther on down the line, we do know that it looks like a propaganda machine, and it definitely matches the Russian and Chinese playbooks, but it would take a tremendous amount of resources to substantiate that. It appears that these tweets are aimed at sowing division in America. Wow, who would do that?
I don't know. Who would do that?
Dr. Evil. He would do that. See, this is how silly it is, because it's getting to be silly to many of you, because you could look at it and see, okay, they're pointing out the Russians and the Chinese because obviously there's a huge buildup to a third conflagration, which we're going to cover in the other video today. And then if we have time allows, we'll give the message today, if not tomorrow, from the guides that were basically saying reality is going to blow you away, and it's going to be so mind-blowing in a positive way once we get through this that you cannot even conceive of it. It's going to be so good we cannot even conceive of it. But right now we have to get through this most hairy point in the roller coaster ride, so to speak. So yeah, they're basically giving us an admission, but they want us over here in the U.S. and in the NATO countries to point the finger at the Russians and the Chinese. But in reality, it's the same beings that have their strings tied to the puppets at the top of the apparent pyramid. Apparent, not the real pyramid, just the apparent pyramid. The puppets on both sides of the conflict that is developing are control. And so as long as you're looking to any of these puppets, you're never going to get straight answers. If you're trusting in any of these puppets, you're never going to see what's really going on. This whole system does have to collapse. And so, it's just interesting to see this. In response to the Carnegie Mellon findings, the Twitter spokesman pointed to the company's previous statement, arguing that the term bot can be used to describe a wide range of behavior on the platform, not all of which is in a violation of Twitter's rules. It's fascinating, as we've had so many videos taken down. We've had videos taken down and demonetized. I did a video once because I know I was put on a list on Evolutionary, where all I did was for 3 minutes, I showed pictures of kittens and puppies and kept saying, "Aren't they cute? Aren't they cute?" And then people were like, "Okay, dude, are you okay? What happened? What did you take this morning?" But it was done purposely because everything I threw up was demonetized. Everything. And if you could demonetize cute kittens and puppies, if you could put that on a list saying this is unacceptable material, it might insult somebody, then we got a big problem. And this is showing just what type of problem we have. It's okay for Twitter to go ahead and push forward with their agenda, even when it's a pack of crap. But it's not okay for others to expose the reality of things and to maybe try to push love, push peace, push understanding, push forgiveness. That's not okay because it goes against, the main purpose that these corporations have.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we did push forgiveness and love and acceptance, understanding and wisdom, boy, oh boy, would that would really throw them for a loop. But we have to understand that the entity that has made this platform, well, they did make it. In all fairness, they did make it. Do they use it fair? No, not at all. They don't use it for anything but for their agenda. But that's where we have to back up and say, hey, we need to make our own platform here.
And we see Elon Musk, who has bought a little bit around 9% of Twitter. He's the biggest shareholder now. He was going to join the Twitter board. Now he decides not to. So this is curious because, you think, okay, he buys the biggest portion. He's the biggest shareholder. He's going to join the board, so he's going to make changes. Now he decides not to. What does that tell us? That there's not really going to be any change, right? I mean, he bought in, so he has some controlling stake. But by doing this, don't expect any change, even though there's these admissions coming out. And when you look to him, he's the next step. We're going to get comfortable with him, and then we'll be a little bit more comfortable with the idea of ETs. That's part of what's coming, because eventually they're going to show that all the human leadership on the planet is worthless. Yes, you guys have been right the whole time. They're all completely out for themselves. They'll backstab each other in 5 seconds. And, they don't deserve to be where they are. So you're going to have to trust the non-humans.
Right. And they're kind of pushing us in that position. But what I really find that makes me sad lately is when people continue to understand that there is another force that's going to come and fix everything, and it's going to come and make everything fair, and everybody's going to have everything they could ever want. And don't worry, don't do anything, don't stand up for yourself, don't use your voice because somebody else is going to do it for you. That's the part where we have to look past and understand and let that reality kind of sink in so that we take the measures we need to take to protect ourselves and our family, because there is going to be a big hiccup in the supply chain, a big one. And I think right now what they're doing is they're trying to make sure a lot of people are just feeling safe and comfortable so you don't stock up, so that you might be at their mercy for quite a while. And when you're at their mercy, well, you have to do what they say to get food and stuff.
Do you know in the UK they did a survey that showed just 6% of voters in elections in Great Britain believe their views are the main influences behind eventual decisions on policy taken by government ministers? Just 6%. Wow, why do we even have this system? 6% think the system works, basically. 6%. Why is it even existing at this point? And when we look to, again, we were talking about how the science changes constantly, and even admissions here. New York and California failed miserably in the handling of the plague upon the land, but Florida was amongst the best. Hello. Actually, the top 4 states were all red, and the bottom 10 were pretty much all blue, so to speak. So, again, this awakening, be very aware that we do roll from extremes. And again, let's just look back. We had 8 years of Clintons. We had that followed by 8 years of Bushes. Before the 8 years of Clintons, we had 4 years of Bush out in the forefront, and we had 8 years of him behind the scenes with Reagan, right? And then we go to Obama after the Bushes, and then we go to 45, and then we go to 46, and we might go back to 45. Whiplash between extremes. Of course, where we're heading right now is a complete breakup, and more than that, we're really heading into stuff that's going to be hang on tight with, that third conflagration going on globally at the same time as disintegration from within in the U.S. This is definitely a time for us to really work on just, what can you do when the system's in place but it's worthless? You got to try to just band together with like-minded people as much as possible, get self-sufficient, plant your victory gardens. Let's do victory gardens for humanity, for consciousness, for those that are awake and not, sheep blindly walking off a cliff. This is what the world is doing. It's walking to an edge of a cliff, and it's going to follow the paper off. Most are going to follow the paper right off the edge.
And when AI is doing all the work for everyone, they're just blindly just going to keep doing that. Follow, follow, follow. It's so sad.
It is. So here we are, awakening. We need to awaken the world faster. Share as much as possible these videos. Other channels that are awake as well. I know there's all stages to this. It's getting out of one box into another, realizing you're in another box, then pushing your way out of that box and realizing, wow, I'm still yet in another box. How many more boxes do we have to go through? Again, guys, thanks so much for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. Do check out Medicinal Foods. Use coupon code EEA, get you a discount. Lots of good stuff there that can help boost the immune system, keep us thinking clearly and getting stronger physically. Detox. It's Detox Monday for me, so today's a fasting day for me. I'm thinking I do every Monday basically because Mondays are a good day to just focus on work. And, we do know that everything from the air we breathe to the water we drink to the food we eat is toxic. So we got to kind of constantly be detoxifying. As always, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.